So we all operate in email all day long, multiple accounts sometimes for some of us, different windows that we keep open. And sometimes it's really hard just to keep it all organized. We get a ton of email, right? So we're going to go over just a few tips and tricks. And hopefully, if you guys have anything further that maybe you do that I haven't shared, feel free to jump in and share with everybody else as well. So the first thing I want to mention is just your account. In the upper right-hand corner, it's going to tell you what account you're in, because I do know a lot of us have more than one account. So anything that is part of our Schmidt family of companies Google Workspace will have our Schmidt family of companies logo here. And then you will either have a circle icon with your initial in it, or you'll have your headshot if you've loaded it. Now, this is an info@cvgreatlakes.com inbox, so that's why it has the I there. But when you click on it, if you have more than one account, you'll be able to toggle back and forth from your accounts here. If you're looking to add an account, you can go ahead and click add account here, log in fully like you would any of your Gmail accounts, and then you'll have that as an option to to toggle back and forth. If you're ever on a shared computer, think conference room, think floor room, anytime that you're logged in at a library, super important to make sure that you log out. Now you can sign out of your account here in your email. I'm in an incognito window, so I'm not actually signed into my Google browser, but you do want to make sure that you have signed out completely of everything. Signed out of Gmail, make sure it signed you out of the browser. Just make sure that you've logged out completely so that nobody can come behind you and access your information. So super important to make sure that you're logging out when you're on a shared system. So that's how in the upper right corner, you can make sure where you're at. Now, if you're in an account and it doesn't have the Schmidt family of companies logo, you're not in our Google Workspace, and you need to be in order to operate and share any data within the company. So make sure if you have a different account, maybe it's an old Gmail that we used to operate before we moved over to Google as a company, and you still need to operate in that world a little bit just to move things over. Just make sure that when you're sending any information current status, you're using your Schmidt family company's Google Workspace account. Super important for security. Now, this is one view that you can have for your Gmail. There's lots of different views that you can have. So if you click on your cog in the upper right corner here and go to settings, there's some quick settings here that can just change your whole view. And so you can actually customize how you view things. You can go default, comfortable, compact. You can do themes, which can be kind of fun, right? We all stare at our inboxes so frequently. Sometimes it's nice to put a pretty background on it. So you can do that from there. You'll see that you can do your inbox type. You can do important first, unread first, starred first. I'm a big proponent of stars, and I'll show you that in a minute. Priority inbox and multiple inboxes. Now with priority inbox, you're kind of hoping Gmail understands how you think. So I don't actually like to do that. I like to prioritize things myself. But if you've never played around with these settings and you're struggling a little bit to stay on top of your inbox, I highly recommend going through here and looking at some of these settings. I'm not a big fan of the split, but some people like that. They like to be able to preview their emails without having to fully open them. So you can have a preview pane. A lot of people are like, I hate Gmail. I love Outlook. I'm so used to Outlook. There's a lot of features that you loved in Outlook that you can actually set up in Gmail to make your life easier. You just have to go into your settings and play around with them. So again, back into the cog, and you'll see here that you can do it to the right of the inbox, below the inbox, or if you're like me, I don't really like it, I do no split. The other option that I make sure that I have turned off, because I do not like it, I know a lot of people do, but if you're like me and you don't like the conversation view, you can make sure that that's unchecked. So what that means is in conversation view, I email Angie, Angie emails me back, I email her back. That thread stays in one conversation. It doesn't come into your inbox in different, we'll say, entries. It's one entry. I don't like that. I tend to lose information that way. I like a fresh email to come in, new entry line. It comes in bolded because it's unread. It's in my inbox. If you're like that and you're struggling with Gmail because of that, that's called conversation view. Make sure that checkbox is off. If you like it, by all means, leave it on. If you don't have it and you want it, check the box. But again, I'm not a fan. Everybody's different. No judgment. Just letting you know that it does exist. When you want to go into all your settings, you click here where it says see all settings. So all of these options are in quick settings, but we want to go to see all settings. This is where it's going to open up a new window. So you can see I'm still in my inbox, but my actual emails went away because I'm now in my settings here. There's some different things that you can do in here as well. It's just more than your quick settings. So it'll allow you to choose more options. You can go to your maximum page size, show 50 conversations per page. Think of the word conversation as email. So they use the term conversation, just like they use the term label, as opposed to tag or whatever it might be. So conversation is an email. So you can change how that looks. If you're constantly having to go next page, next page, next page to get back to old emails, you can make sure that you change that if you would like. So just different options to make your life easier. You'll see also here, you can turn your grammar suggestions on or off. I always need help when it comes to grammar, so I leave mine on. Same with spelling and same with autocorrect. But if you're constantly typing words, especially in real estate jargon, sometimes the system doesn't like it. If you're constantly having to recorrect its correction, you can do things like turn those off. So you'll see just lots of information. That conversation view was in quick settings, but it's also here right as well. So you'll see as you continue to scroll, you have lots of customization options. You can choose how many different star colors do you want. I'm a big proponent of stars, like I mentioned. So you can add different colors of stars. You can also add these icons here. You have the option to add as much as you want in order to organize your inbox how you see fit. I love color. I know I wear a lot of black and white, but I actually love color. So you can actually increase the amount of options that you have here. So when you're in your inbox and trying to organize, you have more options there. This is where you can actually upload your headshot if you want to. You can also do it in your Google settings as well. And as we've talked before, I won't share it now, but this is where your signature information is, and then your out of office information as well. So again, if you've never been in your settings, take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes, go through. I guarantee your life will be more organized. So let's talk about those stars. Actually, let me go back in real quick. So the COG CL settings, we'll go ahead and just add more. We're going to add all the stars. And so the reason why I like stars is because that way, if you have like 4 things, you know you have to get through to the end of the day, it can be the end of the day. You can come over here into your view and you can click on starred and it's going to show you just those stars. So maybe you got 50 emails, but 3 of them you really got to either answer or there's action. Something has to happen before 5 p.m. when you go into Paylocity and clock out. You can use the stars so that you can quickly filter to those. All the other noise, yeah, it's important, but it may not be important today, goes away and you can see just what you tagged for yourself, either at the morning, maybe it was during lunch or whatever it may have been, and you can quickly get back to those. So I love the stars. Now, like I mentioned, when you, if you keep clicking through, I don't know if you can tell, but they're changing colors because I added all the stars. So maybe you want this action needs to be blue because it means one thing to you. Maybe you turn another one purple. For example, when I get Schmidt Community Fund requests, I turn them blue because in my head, Schmidt Community Fund is blue. Yellow is probably something I need to do by the end of the day. Green sometimes is things I need to print. I don't know why, but green means paper in my world. Again, everybody's different. But if I'm away from the office or traveling or back and forth and I have something I have to print, I can tag it green. That way I know I don't really have action except for I have to print that document. Maybe it needs a signature. Maybe I need to give it to accounting, whatever it might be. So you can really organize your life by these stars. Now you'll see that even though we have all the different colors there, when we go back to view, all of the different colors show up. Anything you've tagged, regardless of what icon, what color you chose, are going to show up in that starred view option. So it can be a really great way to organize your life. Along with the stars and the colors, you can also do your labels. So labels sometimes are called tags, sometimes they're called folders. It's different in every operating system, but it does the same thing, right? It helps you organize. So you'll see in this particular inbox, there's no labels. If I were to show you mine, I probably have about 150. I love labels. And you can actually make them a certain color. So maybe, for example, this Ojo email here, I want to put into an Ojo folder and I want to make that yellow. So what you can do is go to move to, create new. We'll just call it the Ojo folder. You can nest under parent folders as well. So again, just helps keep you organized and then create. So now you'll see that that folder, that label got put over here. So when you click on it, it's going to be just the emails that you've placed in that label. But further, you can click on the 3 little dots here and you can actually give it a color. So let's just say we want it to be yellow. Now you'll see that it turned yellow there. And then when you go to any of the emails, it's going to be color. It's going to have that color associated with it. So if you're super visual in organization, coloring your labels can be kind of really helpful because then your eye gets quickly drawn to what you need to see. Again, you can create as many labels. Trust me, if I haven't capped out on labels, I don't think there's any limit. So you can do as many labels as you want. You can also create a filter so that when emails come in from either a certain person or with a certain subject, you can automatically tag them to that label. So for example, I'm sure I have another Ojo one here. Here we go. So this came in before I've set this filter. That's why it's in the inbox. But once I set the filter, anything that comes in, and I'm going to show you here in a second, from this email address will automatically be filtered to that folder. I do this a lot with emails I have to have in order to revert back to. Maybe I need to see them next week, but I don't necessarily need to see them in my inbox. And again, we get so much email. So for example, our Cobo Banker briefs, important, right? I need to read them. I need to know what's going on with the brand. I don't need to read them right away. I can read them when I have time. I can read them when I am in between projects or if I'm waiting for something to download, jump in there quick, read the briefs. So it can be a really good way to keep stuff out of your inbox that is important. You don't want to delete it, but you don't necessarily need to see it right away. So when you come up here, you can do this many ways. You can do it by subject, by the email that it came from, words in the body of the email. You basically start by creating a search. And so I want to do it from the Ojo. So I'm going to say anything from this email address. I want to create a filter. I want to skip the inbox because I don't want it in my inbox. I need to have access to it, but I don't need to see it right now. And then you can also apply the label. And then right there is all your labels are going to show up here. So I'm going to skip the inbox. I'm going to apply my label. If you want it to stay in your inbox, but still apply the label, that's fine. You can do that. If you get an email that you constantly are sending to an agent, you're constantly sending it to your manager, you're constantly sending it to somebody, you can set it up to automatically forward. I don't have a forwarding address in here. So the trick is you have to add the forwarding address, which it gives you a quick link here, and then check the box. And that's a filter that you can set up. So you can see that you can just delete it. It's spam. Maybe you've unsubscribed 10 times, but you're still getting them. You can mark to automatically delete it. Now, don't take, somebody that you don't like it to read their emails because maybe they're annoying. Don't delete those because those are still important, but you can delete anything that is spam. If you're constantly getting emails, this can happen with two-factor sometimes. If you're getting constant two-factor emails, the system sometimes think they're spam. It may send it to your spam folder. So you can say, hey, any email coming from xyz.com needs to never be sent to spam. That's a filter option. So again, lots of different ways that you can customize your inbox. So if I just want to simply skip the inbox and apply to the folder, create filter, that any email coming in future state will automatically go to that label and skip the inbox. Now it didn't do it with this because this was already in my inbox. So if you're doing this, you can then simply just move it over there to that label. Now, when you go to that label, you'll see that those two options are there. Let me check and make sure I don't have any questions or comments. I don't. Okay. Let's see. Two more things I just want to kind of talk about quick is schedule send. I'm a big fan of schedule send, right? You may be working at, 7:30, but you don't want this email to go out till 8 a.m. the next day. I do this a lot for people on vacation. Hey, I know Paul's out of the office today. I don't want to have to remember to go back and email him tomorrow when he's back in the office, but I don't want to bug him. I'm going to go ahead and compose my email and schedule it to send. So in the email, type what you want, type it who you want. Oh, I don't even know who that person is. There we go. And then you'll see down here next to send is that down arrow, schedule send. It gives you some quick options, or you can pick a date and time. You can pick it into the future, any date, anytime, schedule send. That way you don't have to think about it later. It'll automatically go to him at that time that you choose. Now, if you're like, oh, I scheduled this on a Tuesday to go to him Thursday when he's back, but it's Wednesday and I realized either it was resolved or it's just not an issue anymore. When you are in your scheduled inbox here, you can actually go in and tweak that email and reschedule it, or you can delete it. So you do have the option of going back before the schedule send to make changes on that. Pam, I see your question there, so I'll hit on that in just a little bit. So scheduled send, again, I'm a big proponent of that. I'm also a big proponent of templates, right? We all have the same responses. It could be as simple as, thank you, received your email, we'll be in touch. I have templates for first and third training emails, for BlueSync emails, Schmidt Community Fund responses. I have templates for a lot of things, and it's just meant to save you time, right? If you respond the same thing to at least 2 emails a week, why not set up a template? So when you go into Compose, oops, the first thing you want to do is give it a subject. I'm going to say test template. You want to remove your email signature. And I know that sounds weird, but when you go to compose a new email, your email is automatically going to be in that email anyway. So when you go to apply the template, if your email signature is part of your template, it's also going to be put into your new email. So you'll have 2 signatures. So when saving a template, you do want to remove your email signature. And then you just type the body of your email. Can be long, can be short, can be whatever you want it to be. And then find your 3 hidden dots here and go ahead and do, oh, I don't have it turned on. I'm in the wrong account. So you do have to make sure that your template option is turned on, and it will be in this list here. So let me go ahead. I don't even know if I know on the top of my head where that option is. Let me find that real quick. Let's see. I've just had it turned on. So here we go. So in settings, again, with the cog, advanced, enable. You need to enable your templates. So if you've long wanted templates and you don't have the option, just got to turn it on. I'm actually glad that happened so that I could share that. Back to new email. Again, delete that signature. It's going to be put in anyway. Subject. Now, unfortunately, you can't save recipients in templates. So if you have the same email go out to the same people, you do have to put that group back in your recipients or that single person, because it will not actually save that option. Again, 3 little dots, and there it is, the elusive templates, and then save draft as template. Now, if you tweak it, you got to change a few things, you can always resave it on top of the template to keep it new. So in this particular case, we are just net new, save as new template. Give it the name that you would know to remember the next time, and you're done. Now, when you go back to compose, oops, click the 3 little dots, go to templates, just choose your template. It automatically puts in your subject, and it automatically puts in the body of the email. And see right there, because my signature is already in a new email, it's right there. So templates, it can be a huge time saver. Even if you just set a template that you further tweak every time, if it's the same verbiage that you're typing every time, save it as a template. Then you can always go back through and add more. For example, we do our Schmidt Community Fund newsletter. Well, the body of it's the same. It's just the last month's information that needs to be updated. So I have a template saved with all of the information that I need to fill in, including some blank spots. And then I'm not retyping the entire thing every time. I'm just filling in the new data. So templates can be a huge time saver. Also, what I'm a big proponent now, because I have been so fluid in my office space, traveling around a lot, I was a huge sticky note person. I would constantly call Paul or Chris and be like, hey, I know the sticky note's the left side of my desk. It's between X, Y, and Z, and I just need to snap a photo and send it to me, okay? Super annoying for somebody to be doing that to you all the time, right? So I'm working really hard to remove myself from sticky notes, and I'm now using Keep. So it can be a really nice place. I think of it as my virtual sticky notes. So I haven't completely gone cold turkey in sticky notes, but I'm trying to transfer them over to my notes. So this will be here all the time. You can take a note for whatever it is that you may have to remember, and then it's always there. And it's not always just here, right? If I get into notes on my phone, it's there. If I log into another computer in my Google account, it's there. Virtual sticky notes, you never lose them. You never have to call somebody to snap a photo and send it to you. So I've been using notes a lot. I've also been using tasks. So the tasks are really nice because you can go ahead and check those off, right? Super satisfying to checkbox things. So you can add a task. You can actually add a task right from an email. So you're like, hey, I got this email. My manager needs me to send a reminder for the sales meeting next Tuesday. never going to remember. So what you can do is add to tasks, and you'll see it tags that email right in that task. So it can be really nice option. You can also give it a date and time, and that task is going to also be put on your calendar. So it can really help keep you organized. Never have to pay attention to your inbox again. Move it over to a task, archive the email, give it a date and time, it goes on your calendar. Super efficient way to keep yourself organized. Couple questions here and then we'll wrap. How did you get to keep? So in my sidebar, over here, you'll see all these little icons, contacts, tasks, keep is right here. Some people like to keep their calendar up. I don't do that. It's just too much for me. I just toggle to my calendar when I want it, but keeps is right here. You can type a title, take the note, click done. You can pin certain ones to the top because if you have 30, you have to scroll. So you can pin it to the top. You can either archive it or delete it when you're done. So that's where you can go to keep. I believe if you go into your waffle, you can also get to it from there. So a couple different options. I like the quick view because then I'm in my inbox still and it's right there. I can visually see it immediately. So either in your sidebar or in your waffle and then keep. Good question. The other question was, where can we go to edit an email template that's already set up? Good question, Cami. So what you do is go to compose, go to your templates, edit it how you want. Super important, always remove that signature. Go back to your three little dots, go to templates and go save draft as template, and then just simply save it right over the top. So it's a little bit of a odd way of doing it. You don't like go in to edit it, but you edit the template and then resave it on top. So you'll see that your options there in templates is either save as new, or you can save over that one if you choose. So that's how you can get to edit it. So great question. You can also delete it and start from scratch if you choose. Pam's question was, can you show how to separate emails into primary, social, and promotional? I'm not that familiar with that, Pam. So I'm going to actually have to do a little bit of research and get back to you because I don't use those filters. Like I mentioned before in the quick settings here, when it comes to priority inbox, that sometimes is letting Google decide what is what. And so I don't actually use that, but I know there's a way to turn it on. And so I will get you that answer after the fact. If anybody else is interested in separating emails into primary, social, and promotional, shoot me an email. And when I have Pam's answer, I'll send it to you as well.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Great. So that's what I could talk for hours, by the way, in Google. I love Google. It helps keep me organized. I know people like Microsoft too. But again, if you were a big Outlook user and you liked it, I promise most of those settings can be done here in Google. So just take a look at those. Here's another question. Oh, thanks, Sam. So Sam Straight actually has our answer. If you click customize under default, you can choose which boxes you want. So if you scroll up, again, we're in the cog in quick settings where it says default. Thanks to Sam, she said, if you choose customize, here is where you can choose. So thank you so much for that. You just saved me some research. So again, cog, we're in our quick settings. Under inbox type, when you click customize, that's where your settings are going to be. And then there's some information here that kind of explains that. So thank you so much for that, Sam. Just waiting a few moments to see if any other questions come in.
Could you just touch on where to find the vacation responder? Because I feel like that's a big thing if people are going to be out of the office to turn those on.
Sure.
So we know to not wait for a response if they're going to be out for the week or something.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a BlueSync too that we did. It may have been a little while ago. Time flies, but it's always a good point. If you're going to be out of the office for even half a day, I like to say 4 or more hours. Please put on an out of office. Just sets the expectations for people that are emailing you. So when you go to the cog and see all settings, it's right on that first general tab, but you got to scroll all the way down. So right here is your vacation responder. Personally, it's one of my favorite things to do is before I go on vacation to set it up, because then I know I'm going to be out of the office. It's just one of those fun things in life. So you click vacation responder on, set your time. If it's Monday and you're already dreaming of vacation, but you don't leave till Friday, you can do it ahead of time. And then when you select your date, that's when it's going to set to be put on. You can give it your subject and then the body of the email. Now, I always like to give options, right? If I'm not in, here is A, B, C, D that you can do in order, to not wait for my response. And then set expectations. I'm out of the office, out of the country. I'm not going to get back to you. Or I'm out of the office. I'm traveling to a new office. I will get back to you later today. So set expectations on when the sender can get a response from you. And be honest, if you're on vacation, you're on vacation. We don't want you looking at your emails. We definitely don't want you responding to them. So set the expectations. And then Paul would yell at me if I didn't mention this part, but for security purposes, and we all know those bad actors out there like to pretend they're us. And when they get an email saying that we're out of town, they're like, great, they're not in town. I can go ahead and act as them and nobody will know because they're out of the office. So make sure that you check box, only send a response to people in my contacts, and then also only send a response to people in Schmidt family of companies. That means that no bad actor that is trying to hack your inbox is going to get your out of office response. They won't know that you're out of the office. Everybody else that actually needs to talk to you will get your auto vacation response. And then make sure that any changes you make on that, you click Save Changes. Now you'll see that automatically went on the top here. So you'll know if you have your out of office on or not. Go ahead and I'm going to end that now. So great question, Jessica. Thanks for having us point that out. Anything else? Again, there's a whole nother set of things you can do in your calendar to help you keep it organized and also Drive. But we just wanted to touch on your inbox today. So if you're in your settings and you have any questions, or if you're like, hey, I'm sorry, you went really fast there and I'm not quite sure you got there, just reach out. Thanks so much for your guys' time today. I appreciate it. Bye now.